Thank God you found us at 12.7 WJCLD. I'm Luke Basinger, the best photographer in the whole world. It's great to be alive, so let's start today with a trip down memory lane that just happened a couple weeks ago. A trip to a city that's been known to summon up instant nostalgia with barely a look at the Willis Tower, a rare and beautiful creature costumed in steel and glass. And while you've heard all roads lead to Rome, some roads lead from Chicago. This is Sufjan Stevens. This is Chicago. Welcome to Camaraderie, sometimes a YouTube channel. This episode is sponsored by the haircut that I need to get. It's a long one today, folks, so get yourself something nice to drink and come along for some big city vibes and retro tech rides. I don't know what that means. A few weeks ago, my brother Clint and I went up to Chicago to attend the 18th annual VCF Midwest. First thing to note, instead of doing the convention first and then chilling in Chicago afterwards, kind of just flip that order, so Chicago hangs first, VCF Madness second. We always seem to just be kind of dead after a weekend of retro tech enthusiasm, and the first day in Chicago, first half day in Chicago, usually just ends up being about just kind of recovery instead of like actually exploring the city. Chicago deserves more than that, and it was also nice to have just kind of a settling in period after that super long drive before just immediately being thrust into the silliness of VCF. Second thing to note, I didn't actually drive up with Clint this time because the last couple times we've done this whole VCF thing, it's like I have to drive 6 hours to get to his place, and then we drive 12 hours the next day to get to Chicago, and then gotta drive 12 hours back, and then 6. It's to get back home. It's just a lot. So Clint had to deal with Indiana by himself. I do feel a little bit bad about that. And I grabbed a flight from Richmond International to Midway. I don't know exactly what film I brought, but I know I shot 26 rolls and still have plenty left over, though. To be fair, I did pick up some more while I was there because I was like, surely I don't have enough. As soon as I got off the plane, it was very apparent I was in Chicago. They just kind of hit you in the face with, hey, it's Chicago, look at our team's sports. The first order of business was to grab my luggage, of course, but then I had to get to the Midway stop at the end of the Orange Line and take the L into town. Once I got off at the State and Lake stop, it was just a quick 8 or so minute walk to our hotel to check in. I could have saved myself a little time and a lot of sweat, to be fair, if I had gotten an Uber or a Lyft or a taxi or something. But yeah, getting a Ventra card for an entire week, paying for an entire week's worth of unlimited travel, it was cheaper than one Uber ride. So yeah, public transit, that's where it's at, folks. It took a couple of calls to Clint to have him talk to the hotel staff and let them know that I'm not just some rando trying to check into someone else's room. But I eventually got up to the 33rd floor, and I had a chance to relax for a couple hours before he finally got off the road. Not too bad. Once we somewhat got our bearings, kind of caught our breath a little bit, it was out onto East Wacker Drive to start exploring the great windy city of Chicago. God, it's good to be back. Now, at that point, neither of us had really eaten anything outside of like gas station roller dogs and like a half of a cold cut slider at the airport. So we were pretty hungry. We eventually found our way to Beatnik and just, oh my god, what a pleasurable mouth experience. Feta stuffed dates, pomegranate molasses glazed short ribs. Yeah, it's just divine. After supper, we made our way to the river walk to walk the river and just took in all the sights and sounds and hustle and bustle of Labor Day weekend in the city. Back to the hotel to get some sleep. It had been a long day, and the week was just starting. Alright, let's get the day going. Get some Pro 400, because that's the only color film I have for 120 right now. So, I need to go find somewhere to get some more. Last night, shooting on some Lomo 800. Let's see, what do we want today? What's it gonna be? Let me know in the comments which one you think I should shoot first, because this is absolutely a live video. I just love the look of Color Plus 200. Always remember to set your ISO, kids. Can I get that hat in focus? Oh, I forgot. I just put 200 speed film in here. That's gonna look like garbage. Next up is to pack my little day bag with all the film and everything else that I might need for the day. And to help me with my organization, a viewer was actually kind enough to send me some of their 3D printed film cassette and film roll holders, which is pretty awesome. I got these sent to me by Travis Lang from Film Fridge Supply Company. I'll put a link in the description to his store. These are super well built, or well printed, I guess. But yeah, go check out his store. I'm super thankful that he sent these in to me, and they are making their debut finally. So let's get these loaded up, and that way I won't have just a ton of film just rolling around anywhere. Or everywhere, all over the place. Over here, going over what I just packed, I'm like, is 18 rolls of film enough? I don't know. It is. It's plenty. And I'm telling myself that more than y'all, because you probably know that, but I don't know. Let's go see what the world has in store for us. Once I got my day bag set for the day bag, we found a decent looking brunch spot to kind of make our way to. So out onto Whacker we went, snapping photos all along the way. All glass and cement and like muted. We got told to leave this one building because apparently professional cameras weren't allowed, even though I just had like my film cameras, and I mean Clint was shooting with his phone, but I was like, I just looked down and I'm like, sir, these are 50-year-old cameras. It's not really, maybe that just means I'm a professional. I don't know. I'll take it. With a belly full of potatoes and the whole city to explore, we went to Macy's. Clint needed a hat and I needed another couple shirts because I didn't pack for sweating through multiple shirts a day. As a bonus, this Macy's happens to be housed in the old Marshall Field and Company building. Why is this a department store? I don't know, man. A prime example of the Chicago school style of architecture, and designed by Daniel Burnham himself. He's kind of big in like the whole architecture thing. You know, him and Burnham and Root did the whole like World's Fair Columbia Exposition thing in 1893, and they like trained Frank Lloyd Wright and all that kind of stuff. He's a cool guy. Although this includes a Tiffany glass dome, the largest of its kind to this day, made up of 1.6 million pieces of glass and covering over 6,000 square feet, the most impressive thing we found in the building was the Toys R Us section. Supposedly. Yeah, they do have a Toys R Us of sorts. I don't know what anything is anymore. Roblox bees? Lego wiener. I mean, I guess it's supposed to be a Chicago dog, but yeah, but like it's wrong. It's just gotta come out right there. Yeah, but like 69 hours, nice. After passing by some more Tiffany glass in the pedway at the bottom of the building and making our way back up street side, we found the goth Target. But you know, they just don't make Targets like they used to. Just look at those details, man. Like, what a cool, like... What a funny place for a Target.
I knew it. You're wait for those people to come. Let me see your shirt for a second.
After a few more miles of pounding pavement and shooting shots, it was back to the hotel for a bit of rest in the heat of the day. After a quick shower, a change of clothes, and a couple bevies, we stomped our way into the quickly setting sun. We saw somewhere, probably on our phones, I guess, I don't know, maybe we looked up like events Labor Day in Chicago or something. I don't know. We saw that there were some festivities going on Navy Pier that night. So we started walking that way and then just kind of got a little bit lost, which is pretty humbling when like you can see where it is, like pretty much anywhere in the city. Because I mean, you know, it's got like the big old Ferris wheel and whatnot, and somehow we managed to get lost. Now the celebrations were winding down, pretty much done by the time we got there, but we made a point of celebrating anyways. The life and legacy of Jimmy Buffett. Now, I'm not crazy about his music personally, but I respect him. Because that guy, he figured out what he wanted from life, and by golly, he got it. On to my third shirt of the day, and it was time to wind down. Got some Portillo's delivered to the hotel, and I had my first Chicago dog. Well, to my knowledge, it was my first, but Clint swears that I had one on a previous trip. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, it was fine. I don't hate it. Would I order it for myself? No. But it was fine. It'd be better with some ketchup, though. Anyways, on to the next day. Which started with another walk to another brunch spot. Because, you know, that's... The only real thing we had on the docket that day was the Cubs game, and we had a lot of time to kill before then. Now, I wanted to go to the other main camera shop in the town, the town. Chicago's not a town. Of course, I've been to Central Camera the last couple trips up, and they're still easily my favorite camera store there. Probably just favorite camera store in general, but I hadn't made it up to Dodd Camera before. And, you know, I just wanted to try out something else. We hopped on the Blue Line at Washington, and maybe 20 minutes later got off at the California stop. What a neat little neighborhood. I think it's called Logan Square. I think it's called Logan Square. It's either that or Palmer Square. They're both like right there, and it's, you know, it's just that area of Chicago. It's just really cool. I feel like most people, myself included, when most people think of Chicago, they think of downtown. They think of the Loop or Millennium Park. And for good reason. I mean, that's the iconic stuff, you know. You got the Chicago skyline and all that, Sears Tower, Willis Tower, whatever it's called. I don't care anymore. But places like this, places like Logan Square, that's like the real Chicago, you know. Or like Oak Park last year, like that's the real Chicago, man. That stuff's like, that's where it's at. It's such a cool, I don't know. It's like it's just a genuine neighborhood. I don't know. It's just like I never really thought of places like that whenever I think of Chicago. And Dodd Camera reminds me of a much smaller Sammy's in LA. There's part camera shop, part production rental house, you know, that sort of thing. Whereas, yeah, Central Camera is just like, it's just cameras and film and assorted accessories. And they had everything we needed. A wrist strap for Clint's Lumix and a buttload of film for me. After exploring the neighborhood a little bit more, it was back into town to mosey around and chill before making our way to Wrigleyville. So, at Dodd, got a lot of stuff. Got some Portra 120 because that was like the only color 120 film they had other than Cinestill. Got lots of Ultramax because you can't find this stuff hardly anywhere. Also got a variable ND filter for my FX30. That'll hopefully come in handy, especially for this weekend, and just in general, so I can like just get the settings and not have to worry about changing the settings so much. Oh, and more Cinestill. Dang, I got a lot of Cinestill. To get to Wrigleyville, we walked down to the Lake Station and took the Red Line to Addison. Even just getting into the station, the excitement was becoming palpable. Cubs jerseys, Giants hats, public intoxication, it was great. I was really tempted by the merch outside the stadium, but my debit card was still crying after the trip to Dodd. Wrigley Field is just one of those like hallowed sanctuaries of sport, and it was so cool to be there. That combined with just like the buzz that I get with like before any sporting event, man, I'm just getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Safe to say, Wrigley Field did not disappoint, and neither did the Cubs. After a few shutout innings and runs scored by the Giants, it became a slugfest and ended 11-8. And some of the shots that I got at Wrigley ended up being in my favorites from the trip. We had one more full day and no plans. Just how I like it. We had talked about not going to another brunch spot and just getting food at the hotel, but there's a bunch of like businessy looking suit people doing networking or talking about product or something. We were just like, nah, let's go somewhere else. And the place we went was fine. It was like pretty much unremarkable in my opinion, but they can't all be winners. We did the Sears Tower Skydeck experience last time we were in town, but once we came across the Hancock Building's 360 Chicago Observatory, I think is what its official name or something is, we definitely wanted to try that, because, it's cool to go up really high in a tall building. You just go up 93 floors in a matter of seconds, and you just get like 360-degree views of the entire city. I just think it's neat. There aren't any glass boxes that kind of jut out from the side like there are at the Sears Tower, but the Hancock Building has something probably even more adrenaline-inducing. And no thanks. I'm good. Don't want to do that. It does not look like a fun time. They also have a bar up there, which that's a pretty cool feeling to just like have an old-fashioned or something like 1,000 feet in the air. Just a cool experience overall. Back on street level, we meandered our way up Lakeshore Drive, past a couple of parks, and towards the Ohio Street Beach. After the now customary midday chill and change, we took the Red Line down to Chinatown, hoping to catch some neon vibes, maybe find some good noodles. finished off a roll of Fujifilm and loaded up some Cinestill because that just seems right for a place like Chinatown. Surprisingly though, there wasn't a ton happening when we got there. Maybe it was just because it was like towards the end of the day or something, but even still, there were some really cool shops, and we did come across this neat little plaza called Chinatown Square, which, yeah, no, that was pretty cool. It made me want to play Yakuza, which I know is Japan, but still. Once we were back in downtown proper, we tried to go to this one rooftop bar, but we got turned away at the door because apparently they don't serve non-hotel guests before 9. And it was 8:15, so yeah, you know, whatever. In my mind, I'm like, close enough, dude. But instead, we just went down to the actual hotel bar. Even though I don't know what the difference is, but you could just go to the hotel bar just fine without being a guest there. That's kind of silly. After a bit more riverside exploration, we ordered a Chicago thin crust pizza from Rosati's, and talk about a party in my mouth. Dude, I think I'll have dreams about that pizza till I die. Alas, all too soon, it was time to check out of the hotel and hit the road to Elmhurst and get ready mentally and physically for VCF Midwest. Ha! Clarion Inn. What a sight for sore eyes. It's a sore sight for my eyes, more like.
Clarion my wayward son.
It's the Clarion Inn. It's a hotel. For a more in-depth VCF-focused video, check out Clint's channel. If you haven't already, a lot of you probably came from there. I don't know. But yeah, no, he goes through like the whole shebang from setup to teardown, everything in between, all the highs and the lows of the VCF experience. For now, I'll leave it at this. Thank you to the showrunners, the exhibitors, the vendors, the attendees, everyone involved, for making this by far the most bonkers VCF to date. You're all incredible, and you are what keep the retro tech community ticking. Special thanks to Matt from Wooden Gamer for gifting me a bunch of camera stuff that's just been chilling, hanging out, gathering dust for decades in his garage, including this lovely little Nikon F. It's all gone to a good home, and I'm really looking forward to getting this thing cleaned up and taking it out for a shoot. Because of how schedules and flights worked out, it made more sense for me to, instead of flying out of Chicago, to drive down with Clint as far as Louisville and fly out from there the next day. It was supposed to be a short and sweet trip back home to Richmond with just a quick little layover in Charlotte. It was not. It was not that. It was not short. It was not sweet. Broken planes and canceled flights and delayed flights and missed connections and swapped ticket things happened. Long story short, I was supposed to get home at about 7:30 that night, which would give me a few hours to kind of decompress before jumping back into work the next day. But instead, I got home at like 1:30 in the morning. And I was obviously wired from like that whole week, but especially that day of trying to get through. It was, yeah, I still feel like I haven't really slept since then. So I need some sleep, man. Processing all of the film and making this video has been a lot different this go around. Trying to do everything around my full-time job, my 9 to 5, I'm a corporate sellout now, if y'all didn't know. But yeah, no, like previous trips, it was either during the pandemic, the middle of the pandemic, where I had literally nothing else to do, or last year, I had like a freelance gig that I was doing, so I could pretty much make my own schedule. So yeah, it's been a struggle trying to get all this stuff put together and sorted, but everything is done now though, and it was all very much worth it. Thanks for watching. Yeah, let's do it again sometime. I'll be on this side of the lens in the next one. Until then, see ya.